The words of the new in-game leader at G2. It is Shocks, of course, and a great interview. Thank you very much for the time you took to speak to us. As they head into their second match of this Swiss round format, of course, they go head-to-head with Cloud9. It seems, Janko, that every time that G2 or in their previous guys come to these offline qualifiers, they always get really tough first two games.
Yeah, that does seem the case, and they usually have to rise up to the task. But I think Shocks put it very well that for the favorite, the problem is, you have everyone expects you to win and you feel the pressure, and that causes you not to play like you would usually play. And that's why these favorites sometimes stumble in qualifiers, because they're scared of losing and they don't play their usual style. If they would just play the game they usually play, probably would qualify without too many problems. And that's why with time, that's why people add sports psychologists and things like that to help them to realize that and not make the same mistakes.
We're going to take a look at G2's lineup. What do you make of them so far? I mean, they've had a reasonably good return to form. They didn't hit the ground running as we thought they might after the French shuffle, but they've sorted it out now. They've put some good results on the board.
Yeah, they have. I think it's kind of been a little bit surprising how long it's taken, because they still don't seem not necessarily to get a good result, but just they haven't even stabilized yet, right? Like they've had the very good peaks, they've had some of the lower lows and everything like that. So it is kind of surprising to see them not at least be consistent with it. And I think that's kind of the frightening prospect of this kind of quote unquote super team that's been constructed. But either way, my favorite thing to talk about with this team is this guy Body. He's been playing so well since he came onto the scene out of desperation, picked up to be in one of the lineups, proved himself to be a valuable asset to the squad, and he just keeps exceeding expectations and setting his own bar for potential like very, very high. Like used to be, he was a very good stable like role player type guy, like to like back up the stars and everything like that. And as he gets more and more experience, you're seeing a lot of the skill, and now it's almost just like could this guy himself eventually become a star? He puts up great numbers for this team on a team that has Shocks, that has Kenny. Yeah, Shocks is in.
But he also got a hell of a lot of flack early on as well, didn't he? When he first started playing.
You all do. I mean, part of it is you just get flack because obviously when he first came in, he wasn't getting all the best like kind of roles. The plays weren't being called for him or anything like that. But then also just until you kind of prove yourself, until you set like a standard of where you're going to be playing at, you're just going to catch a lot of criticism, and it's unfortunate. But I mean, it's just. Listen, he lasted through it. He went through the fire, right?
He's gone through it and come out the other side looking much better.
I think it's normal and only natural. You have to remember, most of the time, these players come from a Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 team to one of the better teams in the world, and you need to adjust yourself to the different level of Counter-Strike, right? Yeah. Some of the moves that you could pull off at a different scene, you can't right now because you get punished for it. People will, see through it basically and punish you, and usually it takes a couple of months for a player to get adjusted to that level and really get into his zone.
Okay, let's move on to Cloud9. The last surviving winning North American team. I didn't think we'd be saying that on day 2 already. They were good yesterday, I think, and they played a team that have gone 0-2 now, so you can't really read too much into it, but they did the fundamental things really well yesterday.
Well, it was like I said in the postgame yesterday, they got to play their style, they got to play their game, and they never got knocked out of it. They never got knocked out of that fast-paced aggression, trying to hit the bomb sites very, very quickly, like the steamrolling over teams. They were never stopped there, so obviously it's going to look very good. I think this is going to be a completely different story. I mean, this is still a team where you see the pieces, and the ceiling you kind of feel has been figured out for this team. We haven't seen them like overcome that in some time. I mean, outside of, I think still like the best event they've had in recent memory is ESL finals in Sao Paulo, which isn't even really that recent. That was back in October. Yeah. So it's like ever since then they've done really nothing to be a little bit harsh about it. But if they're allowed to play their game, it's gonna look good. And if they get knocked out of that, then they're gonna struggle.
And presumably these two are amongst the favourites still to make the major?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I definitely, I think both these teams will be making
I think Tommy might have been trying to trigger you on
they all
on Twitter.
Do. It's like
I think they're mean.
Whenever an NA team plays, it's basically like I'm playing the game. I'm losing just as much as the players.
You're completely and utterly responsible for the win or the loss. Right. Yeah, if they win, of course, you don't get any of the credit.
Yeah, no, it's just
none of the credit. Earlier on, he made the point, Lerpis made the point that there could, in theory, be no North American teams in the major. That is unthinkable, isn't it?
Yes. I would certainly hope not. I think that'd be a travesty, especially at like the top levels of North American Counter-Strike, there's been great leaps made forward. I mean, Cloud9, there was a little bit ago, but Liquid especially has made a good step forward.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the map vetoes and see where we head for this particular game. We are going to Cash. Thoughts, gentlemen?
I think it was going to be between Cash or Inferno in the end. We have permabans, Nuke for Cloud9, Mirage for G2.
Yep.
Then again, if you're Cloud9, you probably want to get rid of Cobblestone and Overpass as well. Those are the strongest maps for G2. Despite a strong performance yesterday for Cloud9 versus Big, G2 is a whole different type of a beast. For G2, Train is the set ban as well. If you look, you don't want to play it against Cloud9, and then we get to the last two maps, Inferno and Cash, and G2 got to pick, and they did go for Cash over Inferno. Probably the main reason being they got crushed by Cloud9 on Inferno at Pro League Finals just less than a month ago. So probably want to avoid that from happening again and decide to take it over to Cash.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, Jason. Do you think that will that have any bearing on the result today? Is there any mental loss from that?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't hold anything to it. I think Cash is actually, this is like a really cool setup to have just like a brawl of a match. I think so many of these rounds are going to be decided very, very early on in the rounds. I mean, both of these teams like aggression, G2 on the CT side especially. I mean, some of these on Cash, you have just so many different ways you can be aggressive, however you choose to, anywhere on the map. It lends itself to that. So this is just going to be like just exchanging blows throughout this entire game. I couldn't think of a better map for this.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, do you agree? Brawl?
Yeah, definitely going to be very exciting. Jason mentioned the aggressive style that Cloud9 was running on Cobble. Cash is a map where you can do the same, both on the CT and the T side. For G2, on the other side of things, they played against SK at ECS Finals just the previous weekend, and they were abysmal on the map. I mean, not so much perhaps they were abysmal, it's just that SK was having a great game, very much on point, punishing them on the T
side. Hold on, were they abysmal or weren't they, Yanko? Make up your mind, just be decisive.
They did not have a good game, but it was magnified by the fact that SK was playing really well. Let's put it that way. Probably Cloud9 cannot punish them the same way SK did, but they did seem a little bit out of shape. Now, we were mentioning it yesterday, have to mention it today as well. This is far from being the first game of the day or being an early morning game for G2.
No more excuses like that today.
So you expect them to come out all guns blazing here, very warmed up. I mean, how can you not be when it's 40 degrees outside?
Air conditioning.
It is 40 degrees outside. It's also pretty damn hot right now here at the PGL studios in Bucharest. And time now to head over to our commentary team for the 7th game. This is going to be a barn burner, boys. Enjoy this one.
Cheers, mate. Yes, I was looking forward to Inferno, but I think it's a good veto from G2. But, I mean, I think with Cloud9, there are two schools of thought, right? For me, one is, I mean, we see them in North America abusing North American teams on Inferno for fun, right? But they're very good at abusing teams who are slightly worse than them. But a team against the strength of G2, I would have liked to have seen it. Cash, though, is a very good map as well, especially when a French side like G2 is playing it.
It's like one of those like anime moments, isn't it, where you've got two characters like shooting those like continuous like fireballs at each other, and it's like, you know, that's usually usually Cloud9 has like the stronger fireball, but now it's like they're up against like a strong opponent. You know, it can out firepower them basically. Is kind of what I'm getting at here.
I don't watch anime, but I'll just apply it to Power Rangers.
Right.
When like the big monsters are out, and I can, or like, you know, the old school Godzillas, the Japanese Godzillas, the proper ones. When you like Mecha Godzilla and stuff, and all those, big battles in the sea.
There we go. I guess we're more or less on the same page.
Marvelous.
So we're going to see whether or not Cloud9 can get their aggression going. This could be such a fun matchup stylistically. Like if both teams are actually trying to play as aggressively as we know they love to. Obviously, Stewie's just so fun to watch because he just makes stuff happen, man. He's a guy that gets things done, James.
Yeah, the thing with Stewie is that he has a good sense, like when things are not necessarily going Cloud9's way, he has a good sense of when it's time to change things up, and he knows how to use his aggression in the most efficient or effective way to have an impact on the game, or at least try to. It'll be down to G2 to allow him to or not, but obviously he is a huge factor and a great asset to the Cloud9 team. So we will soon see how things will kick off. Shroud just joining the server now, so perhaps we'll be underway soon. G2, it's been a long wait, I think, for the proper monster team from France, you know. And I think we finally have it with G2. I mean,
for sure.
For the longest time, Shox and Kenny had never played with each other before. So the fact that they're on the same team is awesome. And there is Yopa for Cloud9, Scud Doodle, and there's Kenny S. So those guys will be interesting to watch in this match. And obviously Kenny is, he is one of the more complete AWPers in terms of aggression, and Skadoodle, he's got to be pushed. But Cloud9, I'm glad it's Cash, because we've seen some interesting things before from Skadoodle in the mid area on the CT side. Sometimes you'll find Skadoodle standing in the middle of mid, looking through into T warehouse with support from a rifler. Obviously, it's high risk because you're completely in the open. You're susceptible to being flashbanged as well. But I think we can expect to see those aggressive plays from Cloud9. They can't allow G2 to play their own game when G2 are on the T side, and the same can be said in vice versa. And you see the wall that PGL have created for the sixth man to keep an eye on all the
watchtower
perspectives at the same time. And there he is. There's Mr. Body, who's using what used to be my mouse, and it's now his mouse because they sent me a new one.
Nice, lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, so you received the gift. Was there anything else in that gift package, or just a?
I don't know.
Just a mouse.
I don't know.
All right.
Our people gave them my home address, and they said they posted it to me. So
apparently it was me actually. They gave them the address.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
You gave them that. Okay, I never get stuff delivered there, so it's just sitting in the corridor, which is great. But
nice.
Thanks, Dan, for that.
Well, thanks. Well, thanks to G2, isn't it? So the fun thing as well, right, is that with G2, I feel like when you're talking about teams, you think, they have the firepower, but they don't have the strategy. And some people could actually make that argument about Cloud9. That's come up very often, that, okay, they don't quite have the leadership to kind of break the barriers that they are currently facing at the moment in their gameplay. But I feel like G2, my biggest criticism of them is actually obviously strategically as well, that maybe with the leadership that they have, perhaps it's not optimal, that their strategies are predictable in some situations, and they're more predictable than a team like SK or a team like Astralis, with the teams with more strategic and tactical depth and really amazing leadership and coaching and so on. And I feel like that's the only weakness of G2, but at the same time, they have this level of firepower that it almost doesn't matter. That they're that good from a firepower perspective if the players are all just performing, that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter, James. It does not matter.
Yep, if they're performing to the peak of their abilities, then there'll be a strong team required to shut them down. Kenny having some fun with the Negev in the warm-up before the match gets underway. The laser Negev, a very curious addition to the game.
Yep. No idea what they were trying to do with that.
Yeah.
I guess because no one's using it, right?
Some GoldenEye level business, but enough about that. We have Sapphire back on the server once again. And Cloud9 starting on the CT side. Long gone are the days where we would see specific pistol rounds on the CT side and T side. Obviously, things keep changing. So I'm quite curious to see what these two teams have to offer on this one. You'd often see like one CT playing car and nobody else in the A bomb site, and in fact that's exactly what's going to happen this time. But Automatic and Stewie are in position for a quick rotation towards A. Should it be required? Apex taken out immediately towards mid. G2 double peeking. There is a deagle onto NBK, the rest on Glocks.
That's actually a really cool peek. I haven't seen that quite like that before, like the three men just stacked up like that. But Cloud9 have that man advantage just playing passively. NBK with that deagle gets himself a pick-off, making the deagle worth that $700 investment, the lack of Kevlar. And the problem is, though, you've got to get through the front lines. Front lines still persist here, especially as the rotation has made its way over from middle and A. And Cloud9 will not be taken down in this pistol round. G2, their original strategy there has not worked out for them, and Cloud9 will get the momentum straight away. But there are Tech 9s to be had, or maybe even a scout. NBK could purchase the scouts. So could Kenny S. James. Do you want to see double scout T-side?
I'm not fast, to be honest with you. I am not fast at all. Kenny S has no issue force spying with the rest of the team. Some teams will opt to have their sniper double eco regardless, but not Kenny, not man like Kenny S. One smoke, one flash onto G2 to try and close the distance on one of the last remaining open maps in the active map pool. Lots of the new maps have had very different designs, but the Dust 2s, the caches, maybe a thing of the past in Counter-Strike.
And here it is, the Tech 9s making their way in, sustaining massive damage from some of the counter grenades, but they still get the openers with those Tech 9s of theirs. However, we see Skadoodle in place. ready to do a lot of damage with that SMG. Going to push further forwards. Guess so much damage sustained by these T players, but they aren't falling just yet. In fact, it is even a 3 versus 1 for G2 here. Nothing has it all to do, and he's got no nades. He's got half health as well, and the bomb is ticking away, and he's got no kits. That's not a good situation.
He got no nothing. There's a kit on the site though. You can see it on your screen to the left of those CT bodies, and nothing. He's got a lot to check. The pre-firewall give his position away. How does he avoid a triple peek or even a double peek in this situation? He's paranoid. He thinks people are behind him, but no one really is. And you see the T's position for a trade killing situation. The 180 from nothing finally comes in, but they are killing time. They're non-believers. Surely he can't be defusing the bomb when there are 2 of us left, and they are not incorrect. G2 have won the round somehow.
I actually like Nothing's play there as well, because, as you said, he's so unsure as to where one of the 2 remaining players could be. There is a likelihood that they could actually be coming from CT, from car there. So he actually turns his attention towards that position and starts walking to meet that player, if there's a player there. And so if there is a player there and he gets the kill, then he can actually try to force the 1v1 and maybe go for it. But if there isn't a player there, as we saw, he actually has a clean path to escape with his gun. So I actually like how in that crazy situation where there's all kinds of things, you know, that could possibly happen, he actually makes a very good choice there.
Presence of mind, Dan.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's something you expect from the likes of Nothing.
1-3-1 setup for the CT side. A CT side who are force buying straight back, except for Skadoodle. So a difference in approach from Kenny and Scar, as the North Americans like to call him. Here is Shoxy, off to a good start. Frenchman on cash means Ed shots. Skadoodle moving towards the forklift position, and the headshots continue. Kenya's delivering one now. Forklift position, very important on cash for the CT side, very important for the T's to deal with, and that's one way to get things kicked off with a HE off the forklift. Don't see that so often. Normally a Molotov in that direction. Some good damage done though. So far so good on this anti-force by 5 versus 2. 4 now as Nothing gets a kill, but it cost him half his life. Question for G2 is where the second CT is. Whole G2 team around A, waiting for that smoke to go.
Yeah, and I have to say, you know, if Nothing can save this balance into the next round, it's certainly going to be a good result for him. He's doing his best to try to keep as much money on his team as possible in this situation. And he has actually been a player, obviously, he was under a lot of criticism for a long time, but he did actually manage to get his game going, I would say. And in the last months, he's looked very crisp mechanically, so that's been a joy to watch. Hopefully we'll see some good rounds out of Nothing as he gets some better weapons and situations to work with in the future. But this will be a situation that is heavily in the favor of G2. They should be able to take this second round now. The bomb is down. They've got a 4-man situation with AKs. I wonder if they'll decide to go hunting or not. It is early days for their economy, so it doesn't really bode all too well to really risk their guns in this situation. Their opponents are going to be buying very soon anyway, so they've got to build that money. Got to look after an economy, James. Every so often, prioritize that.
Cloud9 don't look best pleased with their start to cash on their CT side, and it's Eco Town for the North Americans as this bomb starts to exploderize on the A sites. And there we go. The bomb has been exploderized. 2-1, G2 in the lead. We'll see what Cloud9 opt to do with what they have. Purple gloves in CT spawn. You a fan of purple gloves, Dan? Do you own any purple gloves, Dan?
Nope. What about you? You almost bought purple gloves, actually. I know that because I was there. At a prop shop, I think it was. I hope so.
Yeah,
that's at least
a video we decided against. That was too extreme even for my tastes. Well then, Cloud9 with 1 rifle onto Nothing, and that's going to be off to a good start, but he'll be forced through into the open from the Molotov, and the numbers game will at least save the FAMAS for now and keep control of the map. Kenny trying to pressure through the smoke. One needs to be careful though. Apex has made his way through the A site, and things are getting a bit crazy. Kenny caught. Oh, that's the bomb. That's going to delay things, but at least Apex can take down the booster. That leaves 2. Shroud position unknown. Maybe he can pick up something a bit later on. Having a look towards main where the bomb is at present, but G2 combining with the last 2 players to take out Shroud. So sorry, it's Stewie towards A, who's opted for the rotation rather than standing his ground. He picks up an AK as well.
this is really smart from Stewie, because there's not really any real way that he can hold on to the forward position with no Kevlar. But if he can get a flank, if he can get the element surprise working out for him, then that will be a way for it to work out for him. This is very smart though by GT. They actually realize this. They're just holding things, and if there is to be a play like this, that it can catch up with them whilst they're prepared for it. Oh, Apex decides to go for the peak just at that exact moment. He had the bomb and everything, and it goes down the stairs. Oh dear, now MBK has to try to challenge Stewie. He does have that armor advantage. He does have some grenades, but Stewie, man, he's very good with these first bullets. And the bomb will be collected as MBK starts to fall back and away. 20 seconds to plant now. Stewie, so absolutely patient here and composed in this situation as he now looks to try to make his move. Realizing that with such little time left, MBK surely must be on the bomb side looking for the bomb plant. MBK will be doing it, and right now MBK has no idea where Stewie could be. He could have gone through mid. He could be absolutely anywhere. Stewie, here it comes. Oh, can he make it? No, it's so close. And you can see there in the response from him on the camera, he knew, he felt it, he had it. There was a chance, James.
He was so patient as well. He was tapping. He got some main punch here and there. He was close. He was close. 23 HP left on NBK. They made G2 work for that. Maybe that serves as a warning for things to come. Cloud9 now on the buy. Skadoodle on the AWP and Shroud on the UMP. Okay, never mind. We're back. 2-round lead for G2. Sniper on both sides. Kenny taking angles towards main start off. Got support from the rifle up front. On to Shox. And there are 2 CTs there. He might be going for a boost. I don't know if Shox might find something here, or at least hear some of this jumping. Yeah, he will hear automatic jump off the barrels. He knows somebody's up there. You can see it. You can see it on his face, Dad, because we can see his face.
The space tells the entire tale. Well, camera's gone back again. Oh, we're back. We're back. Right, so Apex goes in for the first kill. Skadoodle with the protection, though. Great support there onto Stewie. And now the push from G2 starts to edge. They tried to edge their way in with it, but it's going to be hampered, stopped, hamstrung by the utility of the CTs. Cloud9 resting peacefully in their A-bomb site for now, keeping the G2 attack on arm's length. As we see MBK starting to close that distance. He's got some good angles here from middle. And with so much time left in the round, G2 can still go B. They can pretty much do whatever they want. The positions of Cloud9 are very passive.
Indeed, Automatic is standing in CT spawn at the moment. Just keeping an eye on Connector, which has just been smoked, so he will rotate, will come a bit closer. He wants to play. Shox trying to harass. They're looking for someone to have a look from A towards mid to find out what exactly is going on. There are angles that can be useful for an AWP over there, but you want to be holding the angle before the T's get there. Over towards B now. Automatic holding a grenade, a flashbang for his teammates to allow Shroud to peek. He's forced into headshot from the Molotov. And in the meantime, nothing, trying to do what he can, but it's 3 kills, only 1 kill in response for Cloud9. G2 with a very strong push into the B bomb site. Stewie taken down, trying to play against the clock. Skadoodle, 1 versus 3. Surely he can't do this. Surely he's got to run away.
Now, we've seen some crazy moments from this position from him in the past, but the smoke is down. The Molotovs will follow as well. There's nothing to be done but to give it up. Sometimes you just have to concede, and this is one of those times. So at least Skadoodle can likely keep hold of this AWP, which can be used to good effect in the following rounds. But as far as the economy goes for these 2 teams, you can see at the bottom left of your screen that Cloud9 are not doing too particularly well. The interesting thing for me, though, is to see what the decisions will be like in this next round, because they are going to be on their 4th loss in a row, which will be $2,900 on top of what you see there for the Cloud9 side. Ooh, nice catch by Skadoodle as he tries to survive, and he will be successful, of course. So what do they buy here? Some pistols, maybe go to around $2K. They could do that and support Skadoodle, get some plays going. What would you like to see, James, out of Skadoodle or generally Cloud9 from this position?
Well, I mean, Cloud9 needs the momentum first, but I did mention a play that Cloud9 will often, well, not often, but sometimes go to in mid, where Skadoodle has an aggressive angle into T warehouse. I would like to see that. I think that's a good statement to make for G2, but first you need to have a successful CT half. You need to have some success and structure. And right now, things looking very difficult for the Cloud9 side. G2 looking to bully the players towards the B bomb site. Safety in numbers is the order of the day for G2.
Yeah, Shroud looking to work with the Deagle. having amazing rounds with that at ECS. Will go to do so here. It looks like he's smoked off for now. It's down to nothing, but the aim punch is too great, and he will be eliminated.
At this point, I think Cloud9 should just focus on trying to create a ring around Skadoodle to hold on to his AWP. Since they've got 3 players with nothing to lose, just try and be Operation Human Shield. And
protect the VIP.
Yeah, slow down the G2 players as they try to eliminate Skadoodle.
Get our AS oil rig on the go. Protect that VIP, let's go. Shroud at Eagle. Unfortunate not to find the connections he's looking for there, and Skadoodle, he is potentially in some trouble here. There is some time for the T's to find him. Nice shot there onto the body, who will now be lifeless on the ground there.
Automatic should stand in front of that smoke with a knife. I say should. I mean, I would. I think that's probably better to say.
Yes, I suppose so. Good distinction. Nice kills here from Skadoodle, keeping himself alive, but no! Oh no! After all that effort, you hate to see it. After all that. 5-1 now for G2 as the Cloud9 team have reached maximum loss bonus. 5 rounds lost in a row for a total of $3,400 in consolation. They will have, of course, in the previous round, saved some money so they can get a full buy hit. So we get double orbs, Skadoodle and Stewie on that, and full nades and M4s for everybody else. So this will be interesting. Now we get to see perhaps some cool plays from Cloud9. They at least get to work with a lot more.
Yeah. One Molotov on the roof to kick things off. Automatic. Needs to avoid that spray. You'll often see T spraying diagonally through the smoke. Hello.
Hello there.
Body announcing his presence on the server, in case you forgot. Great timing. He bursts. Normally you'd see someone spray a full clip there, but he bursts. Suggests that he stops and then shoots again with perfect timing. A false sense of security, Dan. I think that's what you call it.
Well, now it's all about G2 making it a 1 round, closing it down off the advantage that they have early on. And Cloud9 with 2 AWPs, it can be difficult to actually play that aggressive information and just get something going for yourself on the map. And you don't want to play too passively, but sometimes with orbs, that's kind of what you have to go for. It's hard to support the rifles. It's hard to push by yourself as well. And we will see them playing passively. I like that they have middle. This is an important distinction here for Cloud9. They've put a few players there to put that emphasis in that area, get the information. G2 not spotted there. So as far as Cloud9 are concerned, they could be going A or they could be going B. Where are they taking the 5 players? It's unknown at this point.
Interestingly, a criticism of Cloud9 recently was that they would never commit everybody to one site. I think it's something that Happy was vocal about, and that's exactly what Cloud9 have just done. Nothing rotating towards the B bomb site, but on this occasion, they've made the wrong play. The push comes in towards A, and they are completely unchallenged. Nothing gets his bell rung on the re-rotation back towards A, and that is going to be the round. They'll save with 4 players, so at least they can live to fight in the next round with what they have.
And the unfortunate thing, I think, there for Cloud9 is that I guess if you're going to make the gamble between the 2 bomb sites, you want to go for the one that's harder to retake, which is B. So from that perspective, I like it. I think they're unfortunate in that to this late point in the rounds, G2 still had a lot of utility left to use post-plant, and that essentially locks the CTs out of a position where they can attack the bomb site for a good 20 seconds or so. And then when you're looking at that and the fact that there's still 5 of them left alive, it's really a no-go at this point. So that's definitely did not work out for them. Shoxy on the hunt, gets himself 1. Surviving with 3 though is obviously a situation where Cloud9 can just easily rebuy everything that they want.
When do you see Cloud9 on the run like this? That's the thing. That's another false sense of security again. If they play a team who are not as good as them, they will often completely dominate them, impose their will, just as G2 do. G2, you could argue, do that on a higher level. Like if you talk to them in their interviews, they know what they're capable of as individuals and when they come together as a team. And like as you see it on T-Side Inferno, they just bully teams. They simply bully teams, but they do it to a higher level. It's almost in some ways that they play the same game, but on different levels. And now Cloud9 are being victimized by G2.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those things where as you say, like if you know what your players are capable of, you want to give them that space. G2 are pretty good at that. That is for sure. You can see that Shox is there with a pretty big ADR. It's really nice to see Shox having a great game. You don't see as many huge games from Shox these days because he is, focusing on that in-game leading role, and he has so many amazing players around him to enable in how he decides to run the rounds. And sometimes you'll see him lurking, and he won't necessarily be in the action as much. We'll see though if this continues, as we are early into this cache so far. And Body, he's going to hear, I think, some stepping towards the close positions on middle. Is there a flash from him? Does he have Kenny's able to peek this close position? The smoke is there. It's going to be interesting. Good start here from Stewie for Cloud9.
He will back off. Strad is there for support in the vent. He can go either way. Kenny boosted in position. I think we have an existence tier Molotov going into the... it was being lined up by Body, but it wasn't thrown. Existence has an execute through the smoke in mid, lining up off the wall to throw a molly into the vents. I have never seen another person throw it until Body was lining it up there. 6-1. Ooh, caught in the rotation. Iska Doodle. He'll be taking 11 damage. Rotation. A third man making his way towards the car position. That's Stewie bouncing away into the site. Getting flashed immediately, however. Skadoodle running for cover, but the frag, Stewie's is saving his teammates. The bomb is through the smoke. That's really limiting for G2. 2 versus 4 at the moment. But Shoxy's creeping around the corner, and Automatic doesn't seem to have any idea. Can he take it down in the meantime? 4 players surviving for Cloud9. That is exactly what they needed for their second round on the board.
And we see sort of a problem there for G2 in that because Kenny Yisk sort of gave up on middle immediately, which is, can be okay, they just didn't have any split potential. Because he was the only guy who was really poking in middle. There was a 2-man setup close there, so you can understand why that would be, by yourself, something that you don't want to risk. But then they had this situation where they really started to use a lot of utility towards A. So then Cloud9 thinking, this is definitely happening. And then they just never got any kills. So then the entire team's there defending as 5. That is not what you ever want as a T side. We'll see if they can improve upon that now. This would be a great round to do so, to reset their opponents. Let's see if they can do it, though. We've got already Shox just pressuring the main position there towards A, providing presence as their teammates go for the entries here to middle. Where's the trade frag? There it is. Kenny is from above, and middle is now claimed by G2. Or is it? Stewie's there, man, and looks like he is going to look to impose his will.
Got to be careful, though, because there is a player, Apex, who was in T Warehouse, emerges immediately. He knows where he is. Stewie jumps, but surely he didn't say anything. He was completely blind, completely white. White as a sheet down, a new sheet. Brand new sheet in a store. Apex crossing with the bomb. Will he plant it for his teammates? It's not always planted, as we've seen in previous matches, for his teammates in Checkers, but he will definitely do a good job of that. 3-on-3 retake for Cloud9. Shox waiting for a flank.
Now you've got 2 AWPs in this retake scenario. It's so difficult. Stewie going for the peek, just trying to bait the shot, and he will. It gets himself a connection. Lovely stuff there from Stewie. Such a difficult situation, but he is not going to survive. Shox creeping in the back. Grim Reaper, Shoxy just taking all the lives at the moment. Doing a really good job getting those frags when his opponents least expect it. And that's the reset round. And it's a round in which G2 survived with a good amount of players. So they're going to be happy on their money. This is turning out pretty badly for Cloud9, you have to say. 0 kills here for Shroud. So far he's 007, rocking the 007. James Bond.
Oh, nice. Got a tuxedo out. Tuxedo boys. Penguin suits. 5-round lead. Likely to be 6. Cloud9 having a disastrous CET half. Can't quite get anything going. Making fire from sticks. No lighter in sight. Everything is difficult for Cloud9 at the moment. Stacking the A site with 3 players. Nothing spotting the middle area, but of course we don't really expect much. No one playing any close quarters angles. Shroud with a USP on the B bomb site. Not offering much of a challenge to the G2 team at the moment. They know he's got a USP. They've seen him. They've spotted him. There's a counter flash from the CTs. Nothing's managed to get a kill. And now they can maybe have some mayhem around this smoke. Or perhaps not.
It's like G2 are the masters of mayhem, and they will take all the frags, losing only but a Shox in this situation. Automatic is looking to find himself an exit of sorts as he posts himself behind the smoke. But unfortunately for him, nothing going his way just yet. Although the smoke will dissipate, but as soon as he peeks, he's likely to be tagged. But no, nice fast shot there from Automatic. And now he's causing a bit of a ruckus. Some G2 members are starting to take their attention back towards him, towards the CT spawn area. Will we see Apex pick up a nice peek here against Automatic? He's looking for it, is Automatic, and Apex is so quick. Great stuff from Mr. Apex. And we'll see the 8-2 scoreline, G2 in a dominating position.
G2 smartly protecting the Feld guns. Automatic knows it as well. He knows they're going to try to stop him. And there was a reasonable angle on the AK for the bomb to push it through towards CT, though it might have gone under the boost position. That's a great snap from Automatic, but ultimately meaningless because it's 2-8 and he didn't win that round. Limited utility for the CT side. Skodongler's on the AWP. Will there be aggression from Cloud9 later on? They're going for the basic boost. It did give too much information away in the previous round, but Shox isn't where he was last time. However, he is in Squeaky Door. So perhaps he will hear something anyway. Perhaps he'll get an audio cue. 2-1-2 set up from Cloud9, and they are playing in the B bomb site. No more vent play from Shroud. It hasn't worked out for him. He was 007, but no Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. He is now 008. 008, in fact. No 88s. 2 8s would be good. It would be something.
Pocket 8s. I'm going to see the play into A now from G2, readying it. Good defense set up here by Cloud9. Have to get the kills though. Stewie with a double from the boost position, jumping down onto Shox, and he'll go down by the door. It's up to Kenny. It's up to MBK in this 2 versus 4 to save the situation. MBK lost in middle, however. Kenny S receding back towards the main position. Had some cover of smoke. It's all gone now. And the CTs of Cloud9, they realize they've done enough. They can just wait. They know that he's contained.
Shroud is aiding the containment efforts, hanging around with an off angle outside main. In the meantime, Kenny knows what he must do. 1 versus 4, 20 seconds for Kenny S. He could go for a no-scope on Skadoodle, but no! Skadoodle has a superior angle. There's nothing Kenny S can do. Cloud9 get a desperate 3rd round on the board, and they can still get a reasonable scoreline out of this. 7-8 is still possible. G2 with a timeout.
That's like a really awesome play from Stewie there. If you see that, he knows that if he tries to reposition it when he's already engaged his opponent, he's gonna get killed easily because he has to stop shooting. So he's just gonna keep spraying away and just hope he gets the frag with the penetration there through that box, and then still has a pixel angle available to get the 2nd kill. That's actually an immense play from Stewie in that position. And that will be the one that does gift Cloud9 the 3rd round on the board. And they can work off of this, presuming that G2 don't have success here. All of a sudden, Cloud9 have a spot where they are going to be playing against Ecos. They could really make this a respectable half after so much dominance. It's all to be taken here for Cloud9. They can turn it around, James. They can do it.
2 snipers for C9. Stewie with the 2nd one. We haven't seen that play I spoke about just yet in mid, but then when have they really had the opportunity, Cloud9? They haven't really had much opportunity for anything. G2 definitely been dictating the pace for the most part, but Cloud9 have won the previous round. 5 AKs for G2. Shocked over towards Squeaky as per usual. Communicating with his team. Apex moving around. They have possession of main. There's no lurker towards B. NBK might have been there, but he is joining his team towards the A side, so it might be a faster play from G2 in this round. Nothing on the site. Automatic at the car. Stewie with the closest AWP on highway.
Yeah, no map presence or anything from G2. They're just going to go for the play onto A. And Cloud9, they have 3 players that could respond quickly to this. Nothing, though. He's really going to have to get a double here. A lot of players will be charging him down. Will be running through the smoke. He may very well get blinded as well. It's going to be a very tough spot to deal with. Automatic is also going to be supporting him here. And close by is Stewie, I do believe. See how well it will go. Nothing, gets himself 1, and the trade comes in immediately. Good work there from Apex as Automatic looks for the perfect moment to strike, but MBK too quick for that one as the bomb will be planted.
What do you do now, Cloud9? 2 IWP retake. Catch is a more open map, but oh my god, Shoxy, that's absolutely gross. and that is surely the round shut down for Cloud9. Now, one interesting thing is the CT side on A can really cause problems when they smoke the approach towards quad across from default to squeaky door. It makes it really hard for the Ts to be effective, and they have to take massive risks when they push the site. But when the pushes come in, Cloud9 have already used their grenades perhaps to slow down any peaks. I mean, with teams like G2, you can't really even look at them because they're going to shoot you in the head, as evidenced by these rounds. So maybe that's causing Cloud9 to deploy their smokes towards A bit earlier. So maybe that's an adjustment they could make, but now that they've won one round and lost one, they don't really have the money. So maybe they can't afford those smokes to begin with.
It's hard times, isn't it? It's hard times.
They've got the smokes, but I don't know if we'll see an adjustment. I don't know if it's the right adjustment, but it is something that you see on occasion.
Yeah, they have to win this round so that they don't get starved out of the following rounds. There's no aid to come and help them. It's all on them. We'll see, though, if Automatic can do something here from this middle position. Playing it with the UMP, he may even be thinking of finding a timing to go for a push. Later on, we'll have to see how that one goes. Nothing could actually get closer as well. Re-smoking it. I think that smoke went a little bit deep, but it should be fine. Indeed. Oh, it went really deep, actually. Okay, that's far too deep. So, Body looking to play around the smoke here and get himself a quick peek onto the white box. You can see he's gathering information for his team. G2 looking to go for a mid play. And G2 should be good for this. Only 2 members to really respond with rifles. Automatic has a UMP. How much can you really get out of this position? If you're Automatic, he sees the shadow. That advantage is very helpful. Another one from Automatic. Unbelievable stuff there. Going with the AK pickup for another one. 3rd kill coming in. And he's looking to basically win the round by himself. Out he goes. Perfect flash. Perfect finish. Automatic saves the day. 4K for him.
Nice. Automatic with a much needed play for Cloud9. There are 2 rounds to be won. What have they done to the money of G2? Have they opened a window of opportunity? Great angle for that shadow, giving him a slight advantage on the second one as well. Lovely stuff from Automatic, but it's not enough. They need more. They need the last 2 rounds, and they have been blessed with a great opportunity. However, there are still 2 AKs in play, along with a Galil for G2, and I mean, sometimes it just comes down to headshots. They are very capable, more than capable with these weapons. Apex and Shox will be wielding the AKs, but really, pick any 2 players for those AKs and you're in a bad situation for Cloud9. Smartly, though, Automatic, an experienced mid player going through the smoke. G2 will have no idea. Takes the first player down. Assumes second player potentially towards Highway. Apex will get taken down as well. Great start from Cloud9.
Really great strat, and just great reads here from Automatic. Good timings found. Shox now, it's a case of dealing damage. How many guns can you steal away? There's a nice precision shot there by a headshot from Shoxy himself as he looks for the player to attack from the flank, but Cloud9 are holding their ground so far. Automatic, a smart player, realizes he doesn't have to push just yet. He has to wait for Shox to initiate the action so he can be guaranteed to get himself a good engagement. Shox trying to work his way out, trying to outsmart these players in what is seemingly an impossible scenario against 4 on only 33 points of health. He'll back away with the bomb. 40 seconds on the clock. Is he going to encounter Automatic, though, who is also backed away?
You are surrounded. No need to cover the vent when T-spawn is open, because there's nobody to boost Shox. There's no ladders in that position. He cannot get into the vents. 20 seconds and the pressure to plant the bomb starts to creep in. One option for the smoke. Sometimes you see it towards the back as well, as Rops infamously showed us, but 1 versus 4. Doesn't matter where you put that smoke, you are in a nasty situation. And Cloud9, they've got time to wait. 2 AWPs in this 4-man retake. And there is 1 flashbang left on the team. There's a first shot from Shox. Repositioning now, trying to get this 1 versus 1. Can the CT double peeking? Second one for him, but that will be it for Shox. You do wonder how far he can go, but it is a 5th round for Cloud9.
You always see it happening, don't you? When you're looking at Shox, it's 1 versus 4, he's got the bomb down. like, he's going to find a way to do this, isn't he? And he very nearly did. Very quick with those shots, but just couldn't fall back enough. 5 rounds now for Cloud9. A very good recovery if you consider how dominant the start of this half actually was. It was a huge swing of rounds for G2. And a lot of reset scenarios for Cloud9, but they have battled their way back into this one. And now we'll have to see if they can claim a 6th round as we are on now the last round of the first half. Got a lot of presence here from G2 initially around the B storage area. Ooh, perhaps they walk into mid here from the tease as well. Automatic turning around for the flashbang, and Bothy spinning around with his Tech 9, able to easily find the kill in that situation. Skadoodle very, very cautious here. Got to be very careful, able to bunny his way to a situation where he can survive, but the push is unrelenting.
Really lucky to get that far. Repeat's not working out for him. Stroud towards headshot, running out of bullets. Down to the PT-50, getting another kill out of that. He squeezed that one out, leaving nothing alone in a 1 versus 2. Shox already on the flank, but nothing might have a read on this. Shox in the red. Shox definitely dead. Kenny with 55 HP. Bombs on the floor seem to be collected. He's in a headshot position on the site now. That Molotov is going to bounce off the wall and force Kenny to stop his plant. Repositioning, looking for nothing. Probably looking to nothing's left. Nothing. Spotting the head. What's he going to do with this information? There's a minute. Kenny could rotate if he wanted to. He could walk out of the site and run around, but he knows where nothing is now, and he'll plant the bomb.
Really well played here by Kenny to just go for the forward plant. Let's see if he can actually get himself the frag. He's expecting nothing. Gets a good tag there as the battle rages on. Kenny with the repositioning up high, and that will be the frag for him. I think nothing expected to plant deeper into the bomb site, and that perhaps was Kenny's plan all along. 10 rounds for G2 at the end of the first half, 5 for Cloud9. A recovery, but is it enough? Is it enough?
It's definitely better than what was being suggested at the 6-1 start for G2. Pistol. Can be random. We will just sit, we will wait, we will bear witness. G2 sending 4 people into the B bomb site. It's a pilgrimage through the hills of France, past the vineyards, past the cheese shop, the patisserie, but nothing's there. Everything is closed. It's Sunday. Everyone's gone cycling. Cloud9 outside A, but how long will they take? This day could be in for a nasty surprise. There's a rat in the kitchen and it's pooped in the pots. Apex around the forklift. Bodies there for support now. A 3-man flank from these CTs, but will it yield any results? There's a good start. Shox in main. Cloud9 have to wonder what is going on. How do you position yourself post-plant when the CTs are everywhere?
Yeah, it's a big problem, isn't it? Shroud's got a good position here by Quad. He needs to get an initial shot. As they start to push in, the initial shots have to come in. There's one from Stewie. He'll lose Shroud, though. As he wraps around the side, it's Shox to meet him. And that's not a pleasant meet and greet from Shox, as it will be the round for G2. And the worst has happened for Cloud9. They've lost the pistol. They have got the bomb down, though. There are options from this point. They could actually try to go for a play in this round at their full buy if they wanted to. If they have a round. Oh, I think I saw an AK drop by Stewie.
Nice.
Yes. So this, I love to see rounds like this where you see some investment from the T's just to try to get some pressure in, or even a play that they've rehearsed to try to win the round altogether.
Cloud9 are all in. The chips are over the line. They've sold Mama's jewelry. Shox with a very patient headshot towards the end there. Apex.
The man that just keeps on giving.
He is very happy with that one. We've got a charge through the B area. These CTs are not going to wait around for Cloud9. Not going to allow them to have any plans. But there are flashbangs and there are deagles. Only good for 1 kill with Stroud. He's left against 4. We've seen him do nasty things with deagles recently, but this might be too much to ask. Off to a start though, 40 HP. The grenade coming out, not ideal. Physical damage, can't follow up with the deagle, however. We were asking a lot and we didn't get it. 12-5, the force has failed.
And that is a horrible situation because G2 actually expected, I'm so certain that G2 expected a full Glock a full eco even with just Glocks and no armor from Cloud9, because that's normally the round that you would run. You go for like an SMG rush and so on when you think, oh, they just got Glocks and no armor. We will not give them a chance to do anything. Yet they actually went for a full buy. So I think G2 were very fortunate in that situation as they were expecting those Glocks. but now they have the Glocks, and Apex could make a lot of bank as they start to push the middle position. The initial spray comes in. Apex is going to be doing a lot of damage here. Oh man, how is he still alive? Just down to half health, and he has wiped out the mid push single-handedly. A 3K for him. 13-5 now as G2 speed ahead.
Can that train be halted though? The AKs are out for Cloud9. They're on the T side now. We've seen quite a few matches so far where it's all been about one half, beat the CT side or the T side. So perhaps the comeback is on. Perhaps G2 are not close enough at 13 rounds to take things over the line. This will be the start of something for Cloud9, or perhaps nothing. They don't have many grenades to start off with. Are we going to see a squeaky push here with a UMP? The T's are looking for it. Skadoodle making noodles out of Shoxy.
Nice, nice. I thought you were going to say Skadoodle with a shot onto his noodle or something like that, but no. We get a push coming in from Apex, trying to go for the info play. Doesn't work out for him. Body with an info play of his own, taking over a main for the CT side. And Cloud9 actually have 2 players in proximity, but Body's got to be so careful. If he actually does go for the super aggressive angles, he will just die. As you can see, Cloud9 expect this. They know that their opponents are in a position where they're going to try to take risks. So they are on high alert to plays like this. Body could get caught out of position, got to be careful, and he will be caught indeed. Now the Cloud9 team, they have a very easy situation ahead of them. Just 5 players rushing down that A-bomb side. It is vacant. CTs are saving.
I wonder how Swedish people pronounce Stewie's name. Because his name is Jake Yip, right? So is it Jake Yip in Swedish? Because the J is a U, right?
Yeah.
So is it,
yeah.
But what is the
Nice.
Y? Is it Jake Yip?
Y.
Swedish people tweet me, how do you pronounce Jake Yip? I know it's Jake, definitely, because it's James, right? They say James when I'm in Sweden.
James.
James, but is the Yip Yip or is it something
Yump.
else? Yump.
Sometimes they say vampire as well, so the vampire.
Yeah. I think Yanko as well has some V's and W's going on.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. I don't think he has the U though. He's not a Yaker. Nothing has he has made almost, I was going to say safe passage into B, but no, it turned out to be quite violent. Silk Road, not what it used to be. Round number 6 for Cloud9. Is this the start of something beautiful? Is this the ugly duckling turning into a pretty one? Is it a flowering? What do flowers do when they open? Is that flowering? Do they flower? Is that flowering?
Yeah.
I think it is. That sucked, didn't
Blossoming.
it? Bloody hell. Bloody hell.
Blossoming. There you go.
Blossoming, there we go. Marvellous. Kenny S and Shox on the double ops, the fabled double ops that G2 so love. 1-3-1 is how things will start out for the G2 side. You see them moving through mid. Body will avoid being subject to the kind of sprays that he was doing in the first half. At least at the beginning. Minute 30 for Cloud9.
All the mid presence here for G2 is interesting. And we might get the boost indeed. It comes in here. Cloud9 looking for some presence into mid, perhaps of their own. Automatic also just watching, as you can see, for the counter boost position from the CTs. But they're not going for it just yet. Smoke deep into mid there from Automatic, and all the nades will start to come in. And I'm very curious here how much Body's going to get, because he is in a great position. And if you get that first frag, it can kind of snowball here in favor of the CTs. So we'll see whether even Cloud9 are going to throw some of the relevant Molotovs into positions like the vents, because they are yet to do so. But we see this just slow burn of utility into this mid position. There we go. Finally going for the vent play. All on Body. Finds himself the first one. Has to spin around. Goes absolutely insane there. And somehow it's a trade, an even trade. 3 versus 3 with 30 seconds left.
30 seconds remaining, and it is the gumball race for Cloud9 into the B bomb site, because time is of the essence, and they may creep quietly towards people. Once they get there, they'll have to run onto the site. And who's waiting for them? Shoxy, maybe the most handsome man in Counter-Strike. Looking to make things pretty ugly around the B bomb site for Cloud9. They've only got 6 rounds on the board, and there are 14 seconds for them to find these frags. Shox with AWP, putting the knife out in opportune time. Still gets the first kill though through the flames, running like a hero. Can't get another kill. Scope will deny him. CT is open. Skadoodle has the angle. 2-on-2. And it gets bell rung, but Apex will receive the biggest of headshots. Kenny left alone in this 1 versus 2.
Oh man, Kenny, here he goes with the AWP, rounding the corners. And you got to make good guesses here. The flash comes out. It was an underhanded one. Kenny knows everything right now, looking for the final frag. It's Shroud on the bomb site, waiting patiently for Kenny to reveal himself. And there's a peek. Oh, of course he does it. Kenny S with the save, kit in hand. What a man. What a man.
7 golden letters, Dan. Kenny S is parfait, mate. He's parfait. Also 7 golden letters in English. He is perfect. He is a perfect man. Kenny S will not be stopped. Look at that. That is glorious, man. That's something out of like a Lethal Weapon or something. Just fighting around the flames in an abandoned warehouse. He's Danny Glover.
I definitely need to rewatch Lethal Weapon. That was a long time ago, man.
He is Danny Glover. Look at him. Ain't a thing. I don't know how you say that in French. My French sucks, but he's like, Monsieur, Monsieur, it ain't a thing.
Well, the double ults do continue here. We see an aggressive play from the CTs. MBK and Apex taking control of the A storage, rather. And we'll see Cloud9 slowly gathering outside of it. Stewie looking for the entry frags there in middle. Oh, trying to cover his drop there with the AWP shot. Really smart stuff there from Stewie. Often you'll have your teammates try to do it for you, but he is going to do it himself. Taking matters into his own hands. He hears the jumping. He's trying to get there as quickly as possible. Pulls out the knife. Looking for the play here. This could be the opener. We know Stewie is the main playmaker here for Cloud9, but will it be a play made or a play lost as he starts to push? He's lost his window of opportunity, perhaps, as the CTs have fallen back. Looks for the player on boost. MBK is down. And now Stewie looks to go to work, but he'll be downed by Apex. But has he done enough work here for his team?
3 players moving through main for Cloud9. The Molotov towards Forklift. We spoke about it in the first half. Collateral damage. Kazidal just jumping in front of bullets for his teammate, but is it enough? Down to the 2-on-2. Bodies on the flank. Shoxy from the car position. The bomb's down towards Forklift. I don't know if the CT can see it. There's a smoke down in the meantime. Shroud still has only a deagle. He can't afford to spend time trying to find the weapon. He has to collect the bomb. He's got to plant the bomb.
And a moment of quiet in the chaos, but not for too long. Body going straight in there, and now he's just toying, teasing Shroud with a deagle again. Oh, Shroud, one more can it be? Has to pull back out into the rifle, but so close, down to 18. Body does it. Oh, Body does it once again. Oh man, I saw it happening.
Telling me no, but Body's telling me yeah. That is match point for G2. Shroud did everything he could. He shot him in the head, He shot him in the damn head. He was left with 18 HP. Just, what can you do after that? Body's just too much. Hard body.
Oh, that was a sexy shot. Oh, so close to the follow-up. And just denied. He even lands a couple bullets there.
He drilled him in his head, man. He drilled him in his head.
Absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted, as we would say in the UK.
Rumor has it, Body's head is made from titanium.
Oh, really? Wow. That's impressive, James. I wonder how they did that. All these nades here for Cloud9 and Tech9s. Tech9s. What you do with the Tech9s? Well, usually the answer is quite simple. And the answer is rush somewhere. Go somewhere with the Tech9s altogether. Use the numbers advantage. Use that running accuracy. Use your ability to gain ground quickly, whilst also firing, James, at the same time. It's amazing. Now we have G2 on this match point with a good arsenal to work off of. And Cloud9, they're setting up the door push, James. They're going to go through the door.
Stewie and Automatic, though, they're only just now getting into A main. A main good for some pop flashes into the A area. NBK looking for some kills, but not today. Kenny, though, ever dangerous Kenny S, moving around these smokes into the site. He will not be deterred. Moving to Forklift, that's some good map control for his teammates. There is a T in main, looking for some flanks. Grenades flying around, missing the shot is Kenny. Automatic there, and indeed, the flank is coming in from the CTs.
Nothing is just sitting there on the bomb site by Quad. Very happy with this position, and also the weapons collected. for himself and also his teammates. Skadoodle rocking the AWP now. Quite the upgrade as Shox makes his way in. Automatic sitting under the box. So that's a little bit awkward, but he'll pick up the kill nonetheless. And continuation spray down. Oh man, Body still gets a headshot there, but down to 6 HP. What else can he do? These players are getting quite tagged up, but there's just no time. G2 must give it up in this round. They've got to get out of there, survive with those guns. Their money is ruined. Cloud9 keeping the hope alive, keeping the efforts going.
The dream, the dream. They're keeping the dream alive.
American dream.
G2, they got no money, man. They got no money, but they got
no money.
2 M4A4s. Let's see what else they buy. Some pistols here and there. G2 require 1 round from 8. Do you know why, Dan? It's because 7 + 8 = 15.
Whoa.
Check it on a calculator if you don't believe me. I'm telling the truth. I am telling the truth. G2, they've got some grenades, they've got some smokes, they've got some flashes, which means we might see some aggressive pop flashes, some plays, Dan. We might see some plays in this round from G2.
All of the plays. Le plays, perhaps, as they make their way through Levy storage. We'll see Skadoodle holding the angle, however. So looks like these French players are not long for this world. Skadoodle going for the repeat there with the flashbang to reposition himself, ultimately. And that's pretty nice. You get 1 kill, you get the information that 1 player is in B storage. That only leaves 3 other players on the map to be discovered. Ooh, gotta be careful, these Deagles. Nice spray there through the door from Shroud. And systematically, 1 by 1, G2, they will be eliminated. And Cloud9 will take the bomb sites. Apex, though, he's got a good position, and he's found himself a kill. One of the 2 players with the rifles. Surely not James.
The riflers remain. Apex creeping around the site. Molotov trying to eliminate potential areas. The flashbang not going to work out for Cloud9, but the trade will. Ultimately, that is what's going to matter at this point. Body giving up on this one. 1 versus 3. He has some more money than the rest of his teammates, so we'll see how that plays into things moving forward. But Cloud9 look good for their 8th round. And I think it's going to take a while before people are a believer in this potential comeback, because they are very, very far away from success. But again, all these teams, they've been backs to the wall. They've been up against it before. They've been at the foot of Everest, and they have climbed up to the top. Perhaps it's time for Cloud9 to do the same again.
Boom. Trying to do some onomatopoeia here, James. Onomatopoeia, there's a word.
There is a word.
Yeah. Love words, me. So into the next one. We've got still the match point here for G2, but indeed the money is very, very ropey for them at the moment. So we'll see whether or not Cloud9 can continue onwards with some success here. It is quite the climb, as you mentioned. So we've got the full buy. They're up against essentially an eco. They should realize this. So hopefully we'll see a nice, lovely round from Cloud9 to deal with pistoling players.
Well, they know a rifle was saved, however, so they must be careful. They cannot afford any mistakes. Nothing has spotted the player. The problem with this angle, though, is that once you land again, they could have made their way towards Sunroom. They could be around the corner where it's crosshair is to the left. You don't know anymore. You don't know. It's all a mystery. It's all clues that could lead to a virtuous scenario. Could lead to murder.
Oh, like Cluedo.
There we go.
Cluedo, that's a game. That's a game and a half right there.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to board games. Don't think this is the audience, James.
Shoutouts to board games. Here at PGL, we like words and board games. If you like words and board games, tweet at @followddk and tell him words that you like. He also likes vegetables, such as broccoli. Dan is a big fan of broccoli and words. Yep. We learned something today about DDK.
Cruciferous vegetables are OP.
Or you did. I live this. This is my life.
They're OP, man. Okay, Apex looking to make a play here. There's no flashes, though, unfortunately. There's no teammates, unfortunately, for Apex around him. He will get murdered. Cold blood. Stewie's ruthless. Stewie is ruthless. and the bomb site will be taken over. So, you know, it took a while, but Cloud9 have played this round out very, very well. They've, you know, had pretty solid team play, coordination into this anti-eco. However, I mean, this is a really big result, I think, for G2. They've actually managed to steal away an AK-47. And I think that's one of the best hopes you can have in a round like this. Isolate some players with your pistols, steal away a gun. That said, Body, he was saving a gun, or had saved a gun from previous round, he is now dead.
You saw when the perspective moved over to NBK, he was just having a look at his teammates' monitor. Something that's quite common, which is why it's important for teams to be in a straight row. There have been some recent tournaments where they were just spread out in a kind of square formation, facing outwards, like facing walls and so on. Not ideal for Counter-Strike teams. It's kind of like old 90s, you know, land with your friends and so on. You used to be in a straight line. There is a picture of a straight line with some depth of field as well. Feel that bokeh, Dan. Absorb it. Be it.
Do my best. Do my best. G2, they're doing their best too to close this game out. They got the buy coming in. They're looking for chunks of death, James, all over the place. That's what they want.
Raining down from above.
Chunks of death. Let's go. We've got a default from Cloud9 spreading their players across the width of the map to take that initial map control in their areas at the very least, and to also eliminate any aggressive possibilities that are very likely with a team such as G2 and a team that has such a big advantage. They may decide, you know what, we've got all these rounds, we're ahead so much, we could just take a big risk and maybe we get a couple kills early into the round and then we've won the round in the match. You know, they're in that sort of a territory in decision making, but they're just going to play very passively and allow Cloud9 to come to them. We'll see though if that's an effective answer to Cloud9 or not as the round progresses. We're close now to Cloud9 taking some like significant portions of the map away. They have checkers now. They can work on into mid, as we can see here, the boost going into the vents. And the counterplay or the response from G2 is to take over A main. I'm surprised we haven't seen a kill yet.
49 seconds remain. Apex rotating towards CT. But is he required? Body with the opening kill onto nothing. The bomb, however, has not been spotted, and as you can see, Stewie has made his way through the vents after taking them into the middle area where there is no defense from the CT side. However, they are simply winning the duels. Apart from that one, Kenya spotting in the spotting Shrouds towards Squeaky Door, but where is the bomb? The bomb has still not been spotted. Stewie has a lot to do now, and how is he going to do it? There's a player towards Connector, and now there's a player towards Car and Forklift. He's in a crossfire. Oh my god, the flashbang is absolutely perfect. The Forklift player is down as well. Somehow this is working for Cloud9. Shocks suddenly alone. G2 had such strong positions.
The door's open though. With that, there is passage to the bomb site. He's got to get out of that door quickly with a frag, but they are all stacked up. There is a quick headshot. He knows there's another player by quad. There must be for there to be one there, but he doesn't know where Skadoodle is. He has no idea that he's so close on the bomb itself. Can Shox do this one? He's got no nades to help himself out with as he starts to make some noise running around. He knows time is against him as he finds the next player. Skadoodle has been discovered. The spray down's not good enough, and the round goes to Cloud9. They'll keep themselves alive. Stewie, though. Stewie with the plays. That guy's fast. He's so fast. Those shots, those snaps were glorious. I loved it.
Timeout from G2, but credit to his team as well. Cloud9 were in such a horrible position in that round when more people were alive. They were in such a horrible position. One player popping out of Connector, he takes his head off, but then he's in a crossfire. Unbeknownst to him, he's in a crossfire where one person has moved from car to a complete off angle, which surely he gets a kill. And if not, there's a trade frag from Forklift, but a flashbang, absolutely perfect. His teammates take out the Fork player after he takes down a player that was towards the car position, and everything spins around. You see it here. There's one flash. Connector player pops out. Then he turns around just after the flash comes in from his teammates, completely blind. Apex gets picked off, and then there's another kill around the Forklift from his teammate, leaving Shox alone, who made the best of it, but it wasn't enough. Cloud9 moved to double figures.
They're closing in. They're halfway up the mountain, but there's still another halfway to go. I hope they brought some extra oxygen, as we have now the pistols of G2 ready to enact some pain, some punishments.
They don't just need oxygen, Dan. They need beef jerky, or preferably biltong. A bit drier, but quite nice. Parler's a fan as well. Hashtag beef jerky boys, get involved. Pistols for G2. Cloud9 will be careful. We've seen people sometimes use too much time on the Nico and then something goes wrong and everything turns into a complete mess. Nothing shooting the window open through the wall. You can do that. Bear it in mind at home. You don't have to walk all the way into the sunroom to shoot the glass open. You see him just checking it there, making sure his aim is on point. And it is incredibly on point.
All of the points, all the time. Here comes the push. Apex, what you got with this Deagle? What have you got? Well, nothing so far. They will evade him and his angle. And there it is, popping up. It's like we'll see a very fast plant here. Kenny is still alive though, running amok in the smokes. Able to catch Skadoodle there, as we'll see a decent flurry of entries from Cloud9. I say decent, it's round winning, if that's what decent means. We'll see Body though with a quick pick off, and that gun is isolated. He can pick it up and try to save it. That is the mission. This is the mission that he has been given. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Alexandre, same first name as Alexandre Dumas, the man who wrote The Three Musketeers, as well as the Count of Monte Cristo. That very big book, very long and arduous to read.
Did you read it?
I started reading it, but
How far
I did not
you get?
finish. I don't know. I don't even know where it is. I can't find it.
Did you get to the prologue? Did you get to the prologue, James?
I got like a third of the way in.
Okay.
But it was really boring to read, I've got to be honest. 4 rounds. 4 rounds. Get your people in here. Get your tweets going. Cloud9 are currently on the comeback. I didn't think they'd make it this far, but they have. They have won 6 rounds on this T half, but G2 have won 5. So by no means is this a lopsided half from Cloud9. G2 have made it to match points, and again, they only need to win that 1 round. They are at maximum loss bonus now, G2. The money is flying through the doors. Cloud9 sending 2 players towards Squeaky. Kenny with an angle on A, deep in A, and he has Apex for support. Looking at the lockers that Kenny is so fond of on both sides. You can often see him standing on those lockers, looking over smoke. Skadoodle giving NBK a haircut towards Highway. Good for 45 damage.
That's not a horrendous start here from Cloud9. Getting some early damage in indeed, and we'll see repositioning there from Skadoodle, as we'll have Cloud9 thinking about taking some map control very soon. I mean, it's getting into the mid round. They don't have any map control. It's either get some mid control or go A just straight at this point. It looks like they will get automatic in towards middle. And usually you don't necessarily need as many players on the mid attack this late into the round, because most teams, if they were playing heavier towards middle at the beginning of the round, they'll have dispersed at this point in the round. Maybe you'll be up against 1 player, or in most cases. So now it's all about getting this A play working, but there's 3 players already there for G2. NBK is about to find out exactly what's up. The flash comes in, and oh, they're going to peek with everyone. Cloud9 have been ruined, decimated. There's chunks of death flying all over the place, as we've got automatic now. That's last man standing for Cloud9 with that AKF is. He's against 5. He gets 1, but that's all he's going to get. 16-11, G2 with the finish, finally with the finish. But Cloud9 with a heroic effort to try to get back in it.
Past the Rock 4 and wind down. It is party time for G2. A laboured second half, but maybe it was inevitable. 16-11 over Cloud9 after a 10-5 first half. Winning the pistol as well. G2 took longer than expected, but ultimately they take it over the line. And Kenny again had some nice performances there, some nice clutches on the B bomb site. Cloud9, the comeback, you started to believe, but just when you did that, faith was taken away.
It was indeed. It was good to see Shox having a nice game as well here today. You don't always see Shox firing off, but it really felt like we saw a good level from him in the performance on Cash. Cloud9, I'm sure, very disappointed with this one. I think, if only they were able to scrape together a round or 2 extra in that first half, this game would likely have gone all the way. But they managed to get it to 11. I mean, how many rounds in a row was that? I think it's a good 6 or so that they got in a row in the comeback. Is that 5? Okay, so yeah, good effort from them. And I look forward to seeing more from Cloud9. I think they can do a lot of damage still, but it's G2, the expected team to win this one.
Yeah, and it's a good test for G2 to be challenged like that and struggle, but they did take it over the line, so test has been passed. Over to Paul.
Thanks very much, gents. We will be returning back to our commentary team of Dan and Bardolph at the end of this game, because we do have one more match to go. So don't go anywhere just yet if you're thinking that was the end of the day. We've still got one more. Let's break down the G2 victory in the end. I say in the end because it really should have been sooner than that, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it probably should have been. But I mean, it happens. I mean, it was a good comeback from Cloud9. And one thing we've seen out of pretty much all the North American teams, and especially Cloud9 and Optic, is it's not their T sides that are suffering at the moment. It's their CT sides. It's when you have to like rotate, when you don't get to pick the point of attack, and you have to get that information and get in a position to defend, is when these teams struggle. And I think the tough part about that was G2 played a pretty clever game where they would start the execute aggressive, usually like around the one minute mark, and send a couple people in, but the rest of them would just kind of sit back and watch for some play to be made. They knew someone from Cloud9 is going to get aggressive somewhere, push through a smoke perhaps. I mean, that's kind of the calling card of Stewie, obviously, but they know something's coming at some point, and they were just prepared for it. So, I mean, it was aggression, but they were always ready for the counter-aggression from Cloud9.
Yeah, really smart play by G2. What did you make of the second half in terms of the way that Cloud9 at least fought back in to make it look respectable?
I mean, they did, but the score was 15-6. You feel like it's just a matter of time before G2 gets that one round, especially because they're on the CT side, right? Unfortunately for Cloud9 in this game, they couldn't get a strong start in either of the halves. They win the pistol round in the first half, but they lose the second round and proceed to lose 6 rounds. In the second half, it was 5-1 for G2 early on. Obviously, those two combined makes it 11-2 for G2 very early on in both halves. And against such a strong team, it's going to be very, very difficult to come back from such a slow start.
Yeah. Well, you picked out Body as one of those players that you would like to see do well in this game. Didn't have a great game,
no.
but they
nice
contributed.
Yeah, thanks.
But the entire team did contribute, though. Here.
Yeah, and oddly enough, it's maybe not oddly, but I mean, interestingly enough, it was Shoxy who had a really big game. I thought that carried G2 through stretches, or maybe not carried, but led them through a decent amount of this game. And I mean, that's just kind of surprising because he has such a reputation as one of the best players of all times that he is. But I mean, in this squad, he's not normally that player that you see, having that kind of an impact. The tough part is, this just feels like so bad. The CT side from Cloud9, part of the reason why they were so stumped for so long, and I'm gonna single out Shroud, and it's not to just say that he was awful or caused anything, but like he just had a bad game. Through 14 rounds, he had 16 ADR, and he's also the B anchor, right? And the B anchor on the map like this, the bomb site anchors are so important because you have to have mid control, and if you're losing bomb sites, if that defense is just hemorrhaging on either of the bomb sites, you can't hold mid either. So then it just throws everything to disarray, and that's kind of why when we talk about players who do well on this map, like a guy named RPK is always brought up because he is that B bomb site anchor, and he's so stable in that position. Those anchor players get a lot of credit on this map, but you have to be able to have that kind of a defense, and they just weren't mobile enough to make up for it. They couldn't get over to support him fast enough.
Are you slightly disappointed with the quality of the game? We built this one up as the best game of the day. It was between potentially the two best teams in the round. Did it deliver everything you wanted it to? I
mean, it was a strange game to an extent, in a manner in which G2 was winning those rounds. As Jason pointed out, it was a little bit of picking and prodding, right? They wouldn't just wait for a minute or exercise some map control. They would go towards the A bomb site, main and squeaky, throw maybe 2 smokes, a Molotov, a couple of flashes, and then just hold for someone to peek from Cloud9 or send one player in, but the rest of them would wait for a reaction. And a lot of the times it would come down to a 3v3 or maybe a 4v3 for G2. Early on, Cloud9 also decided to go for a couple of saves. When they lose a bomb site like that, they go for the save, want to invest into the following round, but they couldn't find success even when that happened. So G2 just very much on point individually in those situations because it wasn't anything like super complex that won them rounds on the T side.
MVP for this one is Apex. I think it could have been Shox as well. I think Shox had a decent enough game, but good set of statistics and some key moments as well from Apex.
I mean, the biggest moment of the day is probably his picture on all social media from yesterday. Like that is the true MVP of the day. But yeah, Apex obviously rarely is the top fragger simply because of his role, the entry fragger, and usually those guys don't really have amazing stats. But here he did a great game, and it's one of the reasons why we saw Cloud9 go for those saves and everything, because he would just get an entry kill and that would be it.
Also, a little bit to go back to that point, the Shroud at the B bomb site. I think one of the reasons why he had such a tough game is that this was one of the more complex kind of ideas that G2 was doing. Is they were applying a good amount of pressure with 2 to 3 people in middle, but at the same time they were also had 1 to 2 people applying pressure over at the B bomb site. So Shroud was constantly in like one-on-one duels, one-on-2 duels without utility, while his teammates were just occupied in mid. So I mean that's a pretty clever game plan to keep rotations from happening, to be able to shore up the bomb sites.
Okay, we've got a very special guest next up. He is not only MVP of the game, but he's MVP of the internet today as well. Dan,
Yes.
thank you for joining us.
No problem.
How is
I'm
the
so
newfound
happy.
internet fame, firstly? Are you coping okay? Have you been noticed in the streets at all? Or
No, it's pretty hard to see yourself all the time on Twitter. But
yeah, dude, look, I
okay.
love you, Dan, but seriously, this has got to stop. All I've got in my Twitter feed right now is your face.
it's too much. It's too much.
It is too much, right?
It's not enough. I think
Yeah.
it's glorious. We need more.
It was the case for you with the cake, but not for me. Come on, stop it. Please.
Yeah, no, I'd much rather see your face than his, that's for sure. Let's talk about the game a little bit. MVP for yourself, obviously you had a good game. Shoxy also had a good game. All round, do you feel like things have come together finally? Because it's taken you a little bit of a longer time perhaps than we'd have hoped you to have taken in terms of the super team and winning tournaments and so on. So are you there yet, or is there still more to come?
I feel like we didn't find our top form yet, but we are working on it for a few times now. For like 3 months, we're getting really good on the server, I would say.
Yeah.
But we need like few times to get even better, I would say.
Okay. And in terms of the way that you've played against Cloud9, did you have a specific game plan in mind for these boys?
No, not really. I would say that Shox led the team really well last year. We had really good executes. I didn't feel that I was that good this game, but I was like normal, I would say, and we just had really good execute on bomb side. It's what helps us during the game. I mean, as team mainly. So yeah.
So what was the issue towards the end of the game? It's always tough hitting 15, isn't it? But when you've got a big lead like that, 15-6, you almost think, well, we're going to get around eventually. But it seemed like you were just letting the Cloud9 boys back in the game.
Yeah, we lost like 3 by rounds, so that's not that much, even if a game can be really fast with it. But I mean, we didn't have any pressure. We just took our time to find solution and talk together. We just were really calm, and yeah. It's still a 60-11, so it's still a good game for us.
Absolutely. Got anything, Moses?
Yeah. Go ahead, Janko.
Or Janko?
What do you think about it? Hey, then I have a question regarding how busy you guys were in the past couple of weeks and probably will be in the following weeks. You attended Pro League finals, then you had 1 weekend off, then it was ECS, now the qualifier, then Cologne, then hopefully the major as well. So you don't really have that much time, and you include the travel as well. You don't really have that much time to just practice, besides when you're at an event here and you played your 1 game and then you can focus on practicing. How much more time would you like to have, and do you think that's a potential problem for you guys, that you would have maybe wanted to have an extra week between Cologne and the major to kind of iron some things out?
I think, as you said, we are really busy, so we couldn't do a bootcamp. So that's so fucking hard, because I mean we have like 3 weeks 3 weeks in a row for events. So we're not gonna do a bootcamp. We just want to chill a bit at home with family and stuff. So because if we do a bootcamp, our mind will be like super hard. So we will prefer to stay at home. But the best thing is that if we could have like 2 weeks between Cologne and the major, would be the best thing for us. Even if for the 1 week and a half we had between April and ECS, we just improved so many maps that we were lacking before. We were not, for example, yesterday I feel like everyone was like surprised for us to play on Inferno against Immortals, which is the best map and maybe the best team on it. But we were not scared. We prepared really well our Inferno for a few weeks now, and I feel like, yeah, if we had like 2 more weeks before major, I think we could maybe win it or just give our best, I would say.
I know you said you guys didn't have like any kind of like a game plan going into Cloud9 or anything like that. But as an individual player, as just one person, what is the mindset like? What are you preparing yourself for when you go against a team that has a reputation of having all that crazy aggression, all the overwhelming coming through smokes, all the unexpected aggression that might come out? Do you have a different mindset versus if you played like a flip side, like a slower paced tactical team?
Yeah, it's true. When you play against Tui or players like him, you just are scared of everything. You're just watching every angle, every smokes. You're scared about flash to the smoke. But when you used to play against him, it's getting okay. Even maybe once he will just fuck you up, but then it's okay. So I feel like playing Cloud9 was a good thing for us because we know what they're doing overall, and we watched their game before, not today, but I mean in the past. So it was pretty expectable to play against them, so that was okay, I would say.
Good stuff. We're going to let you go, Dan, and thanks very much for gracing us with your presence, because obviously now being so famous on the internet, I don't know if we'll get to see much of you anymore. But good luck with the internet fame. By the way, Dan, stay off Reddit. Don't go to Photoshop battles at all, please.
No.
You don't want to do it to yourself.
It's okay.
All right, okay, good. Congrats today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Apex there with G2, the winners of their match today. They go 2-0 now, and I guess that was probably what we expected them to do, even though, and we didn't really mention this to Dan, they've played two really good teams where, they get a bit unlucky about it. Janko talked about it before. Doesn't seem to matter, does it, when it comes to this qualifier? They can do it the hard way, they can do it the easy way.
Well, even at the last major qualifier, like they did that, and that was when everyone the rumors of the roster changes were coming, and they started it out very poorly. So I mean, now you can see what it's like to be in a team that seems to be pretty comfortable with each other and pretty much pretty satisfied with how all the practice and preparation is going. Yeah,
definitely going well for them. Cloud9, by the way, 1-1, still all to play for them. No downers at all from them. They'll just look at tomorrow and think, okay, we'll come back, we'll do it again.
Absolutely, they had to face the toughest opponent in the qualifier, and silver lining, of course, they can't meet them again. So if they come to a 2-2 situation, and knowing G2 cannot be one of the teams that you're going to meet, that's going to be very helpful. But yeah, Cloud9 had a strong performance yesterday. Today, unlucky a little bit with the pistols, so I don't think they have anything to be super regretful about.
Okay. One more game to go today as day 2 comes towards a close. It is Swiss round 2 today. Don't forget, tomorrow we will see at least 2 teams advance through to the major. As I said, we've got one more game to go today, and it is yesterday's biggest winners of the day. Mouse Sports are up next.
Coming up next, God